Hello, and this is the Warp Forge with a basically inspired by Commisssar Gamza, basically a trash terrain episode of my own. Yeah, it's just some scratch built terrain because I just found a load of crap lying around and I thought, you know what, this could make something. So today, what I'm going to show you in a full 360, as you can see from the models and the scale comparison, this is a toxic VAT kind of thing. So with this, I'm just going to go through the tools and we'll get down to building. So you will need a Coke can. Yes, this is a good old rip-off from Aldi. So quite cheap, nice Coke. Cheap, easy to drink, rots your teeth, easy to clean your teeth. So, next tool. Blue tack from the works. A quid. Not too bad, not too shabby, and quite cheap. Some scissors. Now, you can use shorter scissors, obviously. I've just got these on hand, so I thought, you know what, I'll use these, because why not? A measuring stick. Or, well, at least a steel ruler, all in millimetres. Obviously, you can have other centimetres, as you can see there. It's very shiny, but as you can see, millimetres is always the best form of measurement, because you can always get the most accurate, especially on steel rulers. Next one. Hobby knife. I got one of these on the cheap as my gaming store closed, so I thought, you know what, I need a new one, need sharp blades. So there we go, as we can see there. If this will actually zoom in. Come on, you can do it. You can do it, come on. No, apparently you can't, but still. So that's another thing. This is just for insurance, but you may need a variety of super glue, obviously thick, medium, and thin. Simple A to B stuff, but this is, you don't really use this as much. This is just in case something breaks away, or if you need to hold something temporarily in place and stuff. You need foam board, and for this, you can use any size, any size. Obviously, I'm going to show you how to do a single can as seen before in the first few seconds of the video. But obviously any size, as I'll show later. I chose for this to be 100mm by 100mm, just for a simple introduction, and it's just a simple way of just showing you how these things are built. Okay, so we have a glue gun here, and the glue gun gets very hot. As you see, I've just been having this on for just warming up for a few minutes, as you can see. Glue stick as well. This is what you're going to use to glue everything in place. Like I say, the super glue beforehand is only just for reinsurance, so maybe just hold something temporarily. But this is the thing that gets things stuck together, especially for tins and stuff like that. You'll also require a set of clippers for one part, and it's quite a hard bit as well, actually, if I'm honest. You'll need straws, as you can see. Any straws will do. Any colour, it doesn't really matter as long as there's just like cheap plastic ones that you can get from Asda or whatever supermarket you use, Walmart, whatever. Okay, so before we go on to the first step, disclaimer, these things are sharp. Knife, clippers and scissors, they're sharp, and this is just so I don't get sued by anyone who fancies trying their luck. So yes, these are all sharp. Always cut away from yourself. If you cut towards yourself, well then you're being a bit stupid. So, in addition, glue gun melts the glue into a liquid. This gets hot. Ow. It's like one of those hot women in the disco that you go to on every Friday night in the nightclubs. It's very hot and sometimes you can't even touch it. So, bear in mind, because this gets hot, this liquid starts to come out, as you can see there, and it starts to burn. If this is extremely, I wouldn't say corrosive, but it burns a lot if it hits your skin. Obviously, I'm stupid and I'm lazy, as you can see right there. I'm not wearing gloves, but I would suggest wearing some sort of protection on your hands, just in case you manage to get some on your hands. Otherwise, it will hurt a lot. You'll have to straight away go to a sink for some cold water. If not, well, you're just waiting for disappointments to happen of blisters. And believe me, you don't want blisters. So the first part is to prepare the Coke can. So as you can see here, oh wait, before I forget, apologies for that, you're going to need some plastic plates. Now obviously the cameras just went really shaky over there, readjusting to the white. Now this is because plastic plates often you can find textures. I found this texture to be quite industrial like. You can get these in Tesco's, I believe, these specific plates. So if you're from abroad, try and order them from Tesco's. If not, go to your local supermarket and see what you can find for yourself. So these obviously were about £2 to £3 for a pack, and those a lot more. Those about like a quarter more than what you see there when you get it. No, that doesn't even work for the glue gun. So hey, so we'll go on to the first step again. So the first step of any Coke can is to remove this bit. This bit can get extremely tough, as you can see there, with the clippers. The clippers are the only thing rugged enough to really deal with this sort of thing. Scissors will just break off. So you can see you can have a bit of breakage over here, but that's okay. You can keep that. So onto this gets thrown in the bin like that. You don't need that, and you should wash out the Coke can before you do anything more, because otherwise it will spill onto the foam board. So the second step is, as you can see, you want this bit inside. You don't want the outside bit because that's extremely hard to get to. So what you want to do is you want to start cutting all this off. Like so, you just cut around and cut around basically. Now, just like any old good old Blue Peter presenter, here's one I made earlier. So now you need to get your blue tack out. So as I see, I've got a ball of blue tack. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the Coke can, take off a bit of blue tack, take off a bit of blue tack. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach it to the bottom here. Just around the edges, as you can see. So, make sure it doesn't overlap outside, just snuggles inside, then stick it down on the industrial plate. Now, you'll want to flip this upside down, before you do anything. This might take getting a while, but you'll stick it down, make sure you avoid this little flat piece, just hold it in place. What this does is this holds this thing in place, so then you get the next thing. Plot twist, a fine liner pen. So what you do is, because this is all stuck down, all happy and Larry, you can then just draw around it, and this is why you need the blue tack, so it holds in place, because I've tried this without blue tack, and it is one of the worst things you can do. So, yeah, it is still hard, but you can get the hint. So sometimes you're just going to have to give it a few tugs, a few lines. I usually like fine liner because it's quite permanent. It's not like ballpoint pens, which can be a bit fiddly at times when it comes to different materials that isn't paper. Heck, sometimes ballpoint pens can be fiddly with paper, am I right? So who knows what it's going to do over here. So once you're done with that, you basically just put this back, put this away, rip it off. As you can see, you can take the blue tack off now. There's no need for it. Just put it underneath your table or something, because, you know, blue tack is always handy underneath the table. Now you need this. And I think you can add 2 and 2 together, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut around this circle with this craft knife. Now, it is important to note that I do not have a steady hand. So if it looks a bit irregular when I get the finished product, that is my fault, not the template, if that makes sense. So if we can just push this, there we go. So if we cut that off, hey. So we've managed to cut around a circle. As you can see, we've still got a bit of pen liner. Hopefully that's alright. Sometimes more is good as well, especially for the top of the can, because then you can start shaving it around. Obviously this still looks quite irregular, But again, that's my fault, not the actual template designs, because I don't have a steady hand. So we'll go on to the next step. So the next step is to literally get your glue gun. It's hot as anything. Right as rain. Oh, it's been waiting for that. It has been waiting for this. So obviously you can see I'm overlapping. It doesn't really matter that much to me, but if you're a perfectionist, oh, see what I mean about not cleaning up? So this is where you get a bit of toilet roll. So a bit of toilet roll. Wipe that stuff up. Wipe it all off. Now the good thing about foam board is that it's quite resilient. It won't it won't get soggy that easily just because of a bit of cork. Obviously, a bit of toilet paper mix. You can even do this for a bit of glue and stuff if the glue's still hot. Again, especially if the size you've got, you can stick this anywhere you like. I've chosen to try and keep it central-esque so that I can fit other stuff around it. So with that done, I'm going to put that toilet paper in the bin, and we'll move on to the next step. So the next step is to add this on top of here. Find a place, usually just dry fit it before you actually add the glue on. So yep, that looks alright enough. I'm just going to put some glue on with the glue gun. Keep it at the edge, keep it at the edge. Control yourself, boy. Hey, hey. So now we just end up sticking this on top, like so. And that looks alright. I do not see any gaps. Obviously, if you see gaps, you might want to rip it off quickly. Now, obviously, you do get webbing, as I'm going to show. If you get webbing like this, that I'm trying to peel off now, don't worry, this peels off easy, and this literally disappears quite quickly. And get some zoom on that. Come on. Well, you can see it on my fingers, you know, you can see it wrapping. Don't worry about the webbing. Leave this to dry for a few minutes and we'll get back to it. So, next part is to get your straws and to make them. So, to make the connectors for things that go underground and all the nasty stuff. So, hey, as this glue gun is going to fall over all the time, I'm going to put that to the side. Now, you can always try plushing or something, but it doesn't matter about the length. You can make these in any formation you want. So I'm going to keep this. I'm going to put this at a middle height. And then you just get your knife, cut it off, make sure it's as symmetrical as possible, because the last thing you want is like a slant oval when you're putting on top. So obviously, as you can see there, it's a bit long for this. So what I'm going to do is, for ease of reference, I'm going to cut it all off. Straw castration right there. So, as you can see, it's a little bit on this curve here. That I don't mind too much. Again, I don't have a steady hand and I've got a camera right in front of us. So, try fit it, see where you want it to go, etc, etc. So, wherever you want it. Next thing you do is you get your glue gun. Put a little bit into the front, put a little bit into the bottom, and then you stick it where you want. I want it to go into this part because I want to take most of the area up. Make sure it's straight as well. I've had times where the straws look a bit slanted, and it might be fine, it might not be. So, it really depends on how much of a perfectionist you are. So, this bit, you can keep this or you can throw this away in the bin, whatever you want. You might have a future idea for it. I usually kind of hoard the stuff up, save it up, I might have an idea later kind of thing. So just repeat this in this fashion with as many straws as you like in any fashion. So for example, I'm going to cut this again. I'm going to open this all up. I'm going to cut this again here. Come on, cut it. So cut it here, put that back there. So as you see, I've cut it from the pole. I'm going to have this a bit longer, so I'm going to have this actually up to here and cut. As you can see, it's a little bit longer, and I'm going to try fit it here. I could try and glue it here, but actually it looks alright that way. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put a bit of glue here, Put a bit of glue here. And put a bit of glue here. What I'm going to do next is something completely and utterly stupid. No, not. No, it's not. It's paying off. Everyone likes a bad plan when it works. Hey, so, as you can see, that's the second one, and that will glue and cement in place. As you can see. Now, I'm going to pause it, and I'm going to add a few more straws to see what the finished product looks like. And after you add these straws, that's basically it for assembly. This is how it looks like. I know it's a bit plain, and I just had one more straw, but when I've had a look at my bag, I've lost out on a lot of straws, as in I don't have any more left. So, hey, there we go. So, this is a toxic VAT. You can use this for a variety of games. I'm going to be using these for my Batman Miniatures game battle reports and my Warhammer 40k battle reports when I get around painting an army. Now, the reason why I'm not really showing how to paint it is because if you're building this, then you can basically paint this how you want. If you know how to build stuff like this, and you know how to build models, then you know how to paint. For me, what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to spray it black, get some acrylic paint from the works or any art store, and just a dark grey preferably, large paintbrush, and then just spray it back like I've just said, and give it 2 to 3 heavy dry brushes of that, and that should be it. That should be good enough for tabletop standard, for battle report standard. You're going to instantly identify what it is, and you're gonna say that looks nice, hopefully. If there's any other changes you want to do, one of the things I can, if you're wanting to put a little bit more effort, well, not effort, but a bit more money into making a nicer toxic VAT, then I would suggest using PVC tubes. And if I remember correctly, PVC tubes are what the tubes you use, or the copper or plastic tubes you use, for when the water goes down the sink in your sink. So if you get a bit of money and you want to make these look a little bit nicer, a little bit heavier or bulkier, pardon me, then you can always use that, and glue guns still work in the same way as the straw pipes do here. Obviously, I'm just using literal trash around from my room, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's nice. So obviously, this is how I've built a toxic VAT. What you can also do if you want is, if you could get the plastic plate, and if you really wanted to, you could texture the whole foam board top with this, and then glue the tin can on. So you could cover this flat bit with the tin can and have it all textured as very industrial if you wanted to. Then obviously apply whatever decorations. You could also use cardboard, and I believe glue guns use cardboard for making specific shapes. Maybe your own stencils and stuff for painting and stuff like that. Just for a little bit more specification for whatever war game or tabletop skirmish game that you're going to use it for. So, for example, if you wanted Batman, you wanted like Wayne Enterprises on the side, a bit of cardboard, or a bit of I know, some stencils and use an airbrush or something. You could have a bit of cardboard for like radioactive signals or insignias and just glue it on. Whatever you want. So I hope everyone's found this useful. This is the first time doing a trash terrain episode of my own. Again, once inspired by the lovely Commisssar Gamza. One last note before I go off is, obviously you can see little potlets of glue here and there, and obviously massive goblets here. I'm going to leave mine on, and if I really feel up to the effort, I'll paint them in a specific different colour to show that it's leaking up and all that. Because either in the 41st millennium of grim dark of grimy darkness, or Batman, where everyone doesn't really give a shit about the citizens, then obviously it's going to be looking a lot more rugged, wear and tear, things are going to leak out, certain toxic fluids from waste chemicals, etc, etc. So I'd like to see your own thoughts on this. Obviously, plastic models and plastic accessories, you might want to use some super glue for that, but stick them on. Obviously, if you wanted something a bit more Iron Warriors-y for 40k and stuff, you might want a few tank accessories, glue them on with like chains and skulls coming from it and stuff like that. Make it look a bit more satanic. That's perfectly fine, go for it. I hope you've enjoyed what you see. For a first time, I don't think this was too bad. This was too bad for an episode. And if you want to talk about anything in this episode, then please put in the comments below. Talk away. I'm more than happy to explain or talk to any of you about any of this in the comments below, because I like talking to you guys and gals out there. If you liked what you see, then click the like button. Always very supportive. Always very supportive. I appreciate everyone who likes the like button. And if you want to show a few friends how to make some quick terrain on the go, this took about, exactly as you see, about 20 minutes to build. So for 2 of them, 40. And you can do all formations as well for this. So for example, here's a bigger one I've done. So a bigger one that I've done is, this was one of my first times doing this. This is how I kind of went through trial and error. As you can see, it's measuring is important, because otherwise you then get very slanted stuff and all that. Obviously, when I'm playing Batman or 40k, it's all wear and tear, and it's all rugged, and so it's been there for hundreds of thousands of years, etc, etc, etc. So I don't think anyone's going to bother, especially when it gets painted up and just gets painted everywhere. I don't think anyone's going to mind too much for like Battle Report standard terrain. But again, this is just by an A4 piece of foam board, few cans. This probably took about half an hour to 45 minutes to build exactly. The more you put into it, the more time it takes, but the more you get out of it, as you can see. So if you want to see more Trash Terrain episodes, because I'm definitely all for doing a few more, just from finding stuff around my room, then please please subscribe to the channel and see what comes out next. If you want to share this, again, I don't know if I've said this already, but if you want to share this with friends, make some cheap terrain on the go, then for everyone's boards, then please share the video out. Thank you for watching. This is the Warp Forge, signing out, and remember, keep on forging.